The midterms are coming up. Red wave or blue wave. Where are we going? Are the Democrats going socialist? Are the independents going to push back and the moderates going to push back against the socialists and the Bernie supporters? Is Trump going to officially take over the Republican Party? Or are the Never Trumpers going to be able to stage a revolt? And what does all this mean in the future? Where are we going for this? So we're going to look at a couple of the things today and kind of see where we're going. First, we need to figure out what a wave is. A red wave and a blue wave. So your blue wave is going to be the Democrats winning most of your elections in the midterm elections in November. A red wave would be Republicans winning most of those races, and that's where the term comes from. Depending on who you're listening to, if you're listening to Trump, you're going to get a red wave talk in Fox News. If you're listening to CNN, MSNBC, and a lot of the mainstream news companies, you're going to hear about a blue wave. And all this stems from, back in January, there was a poll done with 16% of all, or Democrats had a 16-point advantage in this wave, and it was just a generic ballot. They called up a bunch of people. They said, hey, in November, would you vote for Republicans or Democrats if it was done today? And 16% more people said that they would vote Democrat rather than Republican. And this started talk of the blue wave. And if you watch that poll consistently, depending on who's doing it, these numbers have been dropping. And you're getting more about in the 8-point range right now to 10-point range. It kind of depends what stupid thing Trump says on Twitter that week. So, but Republicans are seeing this number come down, and then they're saying, well, maybe this is a red wave, and they're also looking at this 88 to 92% support in the Republican Party that Trump is getting now. And right now, when Trump is endorsing candidates, they're winning. They're jumping up in the polls, and they start to win. So, is Trump going to have... It looks like Trump has officially taken over the Republican Party. The Never Trumpers, the moderate Republicans, or independents who kind of lean conservatives, they're going to get on Trump's train or they're going to join the Democrats in November. That will lead to a blue wave. But on the Democrat side, you have, it looks like the Bernie supporters are highly energetic. And a lot of this stems from the rigging of the Democratic race against Bernie Sanders in the presidential primaries. And they're angry. They're coming out in high numbers, but they're electing, for the most part, socialists. And a lot of people look at me and go, well, they're not really socialists. They're just Democrats. No, they're literally saying they are socialists. They believe in universal health care, universal income, just a number of Democratic or socialist policies. And kind of the poster child for this has been Alexandria Cortez. So when these two meet in November, what's going to happen? Where are we going to go? And I kind of stand at a mild red wave area. And the reason for this is there are 10 Democratic senators who are fighting for, in Trump states, that Trump won heavily. There are 10 Democrat senators. And these Democrat senators came from when, 6 years ago would have been when Barack Obama was elected for his second term. And he won by far over Mitt Romney. And a lot of senators came out of that. Well, now Trump has won those states by 10, 28 points. And now everybody's looking at these people saying, which one are they going to knock off? The reason why I look at a mild red wave, just kind of by looking at the numbers, is the Democrats are defending too many territories. If the Democrats win all their races, they're only going to pick up a few seats in the Senate. And that leads us to the next point. If the Democrats win the House back in November, what can we expect to see? Can we expect to see Trump impeached? That may happen depending on how many, but you will not see Trump removed. They're not going to win enough seats in the Senate, and the Republicans have too much support. Trump has too much support in the Republican base right now for any Republicans to turn on him in the Senate. Now, this can all change if Mueller finds evidence of anything on Trump, or if Trump does anything amazingly stupid, like he's known to do sometimes. But let's see where this goes. So, if the I think all of this leads to one place, an absolute gut. And if Trump wins, he's going to carpet bomb the DOJ and the FBI. There is not going to be any room for any of them. He is going to completely decapitate the FBI. Now, the thing is, though, if I see the Democrats winning Congress in the November, I don't see anything really changing. See, I've heard from a number of people say that Mueller has the evidence, but he doesn't believe that they're going to impeach Trump, so that they're holding it until after the November elections, so that when the Democrats win the House and the Senate, that they will then be able to impeach Trump. I don't see this happening. And if it does happen, the FBI might as well shut down, because they're going to have no credibility left. If you're telling me for 2 elections in a row that the FBI had incriminating evidence against one of the candidates and held it back for no particular reason, and between the Hillary case and what they're doing to Trump now, and if you find out, how would you feel if they found out that they had evidence against Trump for the last year and a half that could get him convicted in court, but then they just sat on it? Now, you hear the argument that, well, the Republicans wouldn't impeach him. That's not true. There's enough Republicans in Congress currently that don't like Trump, that they're going along with him because of the amount of support that he has in the Republican Party. So if Mueller had ironclad evidence and presented it to Congress, I believe Trump would be impeached. That hasn't happened. I don't believe the evidence exists. I believe every single government out there, between China getting sanctioned and Russia being sanctioned and Iran, Britain doesn't like him, the European Union doesn't like him, South America doesn't like him, Mexico doesn't like him, Canada doesn't like him. All these agencies, all these countries have good spy agencies. They are all looking for anything to take down Donald Trump or blackmail him. And I just don't see the evidence that any of that exists or any of that has been presented to any public anywhere. So I just don't, until I see it, I don't believe that it exists. So Trump is not going to be impeached. I'm sorry. But what all this ends up leading to is, if Trump doesn't get impeached, the Mueller investigation has to end at some point. And when it does, you're going to see Jeff Sessions be fired. You're going to see Wray be fired. You're going to see Rosenstein fired. And they are literally going to go through and just completely gut, or decapitate, really, not gut, because the normal FBI employees aren't going to be affected in their day-to-day job as far as employment status. But the head of the DOJ and the head of the FBI, and even at this point, I could see CIA and NSA and the intelligence agencies, Trump is going to, that's the one area that Trump has not gone through and really cleared house. And he hasn't been able to because of the investigation against him. When that investigation ends, Trump is going to be out for blood. And he is going to essentially carpet bomb the Department of Justice and the intelligence agencies. If the blue wave happens and evidence is presented that Trump committed some type of crime and say he's impeached, then you're going to have Pence in office. And what Pence is going to go over and say is that the FBI has been politicizing and interjecting themselves into the political race, which they're not supposed to be doing. They're supposed to stay out of this. And by presenting evidence right around, so I don't believe Mueller's even going to present findings before the midterms unless he does it very quickly. But since he hasn't wrapped up the investigation, that's not going to happen. This will happen after the midterms happen, whether Republicans or Democrats win, because he's not going to be able to drag the special investigation all the way until the 2020 election. So what you're going to end up having is this investigation will end. And either the FBI's been sitting on evidence and let Trump be president when they knew he committed crimes for 2 years so far, or they have no evidence and Trump is right and this has essentially been a giant witch hunt. So that's where I see all this going. And honestly, I believe the Republicans will pick up seats in the Senate and lose seats in the House. The Democrats are just defending too much territory when it comes to the Senate. And there's no way that they're going to be able to defend all of those and then take a couple of moderate Republican states to strong Republican strongholds. So that's where we're at now. Tell me what you think, and like, subscribe to this channel, and we'll go ahead and have some comments in the back. If you're seeing anything that I'm not seeing, let me know, and we'll talk about it, and look forward to more videos about where politics is going, what policies are happening right now, and just generally what's happening in the news. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it. Hope to see you soon.